Well, welcome everyone. We are so glad that you're here today. So, on this webinar, we are going to be covering Microsoft Teams. So, we understand the importance of being connected to your coworkers and working together in the most productive way. And we here at Enable feel like Microsoft Teams does the best job at this. There's a bunch of reasons we're going to cover today, but a big perk is that Microsoft offers free licensing for all 501c3 organizations. So, this is great news for you churches. We love that Microsoft offers this, and we're always looking to try to save our clients money. And this is a big way that they can do that. So this webinar is not intended to be an all-encompassing training session. We simply want this to be an overview of what Microsoft Teams is and how you can use it in a church context. So we want this to be helpful if A, you are thinking about getting Microsoft Teams for your organization. B, you just rolled out Teams and are trying to learn more about the tool. Or C, maybe you've been on Teams for a while and just want to increase your knowledge. So Travis Phipps is our Director of Technology here at Enable and our resident Microsoft Teams expert. He helps manage Enable's team of engineers and technicians and works closely with them as they oversee our clients' technology and strategy for their church. So today he's going to be going over Teams in general, and I'm just so excited for you guys to learn from him. So Travis, without further ado, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ellie. I am so happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. I love talking about Microsoft Teams. I love helping churches figure out how to use technology in better ways. So to get started, let's just talk about a couple of things that are in Teams. So one of the first things that we always talk about in Teams, when you launch it, you're probably starting in chat. Now, chat is designed to be mostly one-on-one or maybe a few people collaborating together and communicating. And so you can start typing people's names, people that are inside of your organization. You'll notice that it automatically completes their name for you. So you just start typing names and picking the people that you want to chat with, and you can start a chat conversation, as simple as that. And now that you've got this conversation going, you'll notice that Elliot and Melody both are a part of my chat. And I've got the ability, they've got the ability, we can keep doing text back and forth, right? So we can, oh, hey, Melody, hey, Bob, right? So you'll notice that I can like her response, I can thumbs up it, right? You can engage, you can do some cool, fun, whimsical things, but chat is chat. It's basically text messaging, but inside of Teams instead of on your personal cell phone, right? So that's what chat is. You can have group chats, just like you can have group messaging. So that's chat. Now you'll notice up here in the top right, I also have the ability to place audio calls and video calls. I'm not going to demo that right now, but just know that it's right there. So if I were to audio call or video call, it would start a call with the people that I'm in a chat with. And we would have the ability to engage via video or audio directly online, directly through this chat. And I can have as many chats going as I want. I can have chats with individuals. Like I said, I can have chats with groups. Here's the key for chat. Chat is designed for when you care about who you're communicating with, not so much what you're communicating about. Meaning the conversation that I have in chat may run the gamut. Day in and day out, we may be discussing one thing and then a different thing and then a different ministry and then a different event, right? But our chat history will just always show the conversation that we've had, just like your text message history, right? That's what chat. So chat's about who, when I care about the who, and the topic might be very fluid. Now we're going to talk about Teams. So Microsoft Teams is organized by teams. I know that can seem a little confusing, but is what it is. So inside of Teams, you have the ability to create or join different teams. So you'll notice I've got a few teams already available to me that are public. So I see them. I can just go say, you know what, these are public teams. So I just want to join them. I want to get right in and be a part of it. But let's say that I wanted to create a team. So again, we're taking the approach that we've never done this before. We've never used Teams. So here's our best practice guidance. We recommend for a church that you start out by creating an all-staff team. Have a team that's available for everybody on staff to participate. You can put things out there like announcements for the whole staff. You can have a prayer channel out there so that people can engage. You can have the happy birthday channel out there, right? The idea is, what can you communicate about in a less formal manner than email, and maybe cut down on some of the email noise. So you can go create your team, and it can be an organization-wide team. We recommend that you have one of those for your entire church staff. And then we recommend create a team for each one of your ministries or each one of your departments where that individual team or that individual ministry can collaborate and communicate and work together. So I'm going to show you how hard it is to create a team. I'm going to click the Create Team button. And I'm going to say, you know what? I want to build it from scratch because I don't already have a group going. And I want mine to be private, right? If it's my departmental team, like if I'm the children's ministry director, I don't really want to be letting everybody into my team, right? So I'm going to say it's private. And you know what? We're going to call this, let's see. If this was our all staff team, I would be calling this Anywhere Church because we've decided we can be church anywhere. So I'm going to call this Anywhere Kids. That's our children's ministry department name. So Anywhere Kids, it's creating the team, and that's great. And now, because I've created the team, I'm the owner. I own that team. I get to decide who gets to be a part of the team with me. I can add people, and I can remove people. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and add Melody, and I'm going to let her be a member of my team. And she's the only person I'm going to add for now. So we're a small team. We're nimble. It's just me and Melody against all those kids. But so here's our team, and we start out with a channel called General. Now, inside of every single team, you have what are called channels. Channels are different from chat in that channels are organized around a particular topic. So remember with chat, I said it's organized around who is participating. Channels are organized around what are you communicating about. So maybe I want to make another channel, and I'm just going to click Add Channel, and I'm going to have a channel for preschool, right? Because every children's ministry department has a preschool group. I can decide if it's standard, if it's private, all sorts of fun stuff, but I'm going to add that channel. So now we can communicate about preschool stuff in the preschool channel. And maybe we also have another channel for elementary, right? So that's pretty common with children's groups. We'll have an elementary channel. Cool. All right, so now we can communicate and collaborate inside of these channels. So here's stuff about elementary, right? So there's my message, and now other people that are a part of my team, in this case, Melody, can respond to that conversation thread or start their own conversation threads. And now we get to communicate and collaborate in a really informal way via text, right? That's what this is for. And notice that I also have a place to put files. So if we've got files we're working on or files we're trying to collaborate on, maybe historically you would have had those on the S drive at the office or the H drive at the office or something like that. Well, that's kind of hard to get to if you're working from home. So maybe you need to put those files inside of Teams and inside of the channel. So each channel gets a files tab where you can upload your files or create new files and work on them right inside of Teams. And because Teams works wherever you are in the world, everybody will have access to those files wherever they are in the world, right? So that's channels, those are files, and we recommend that you have a team for each department, and then you do channels by topic inside of your team. And you, like I said, get to decide who can be members of your team and who doesn't get to be members of your team. So then the next question is, well, what about volunteers? Right? So we're trying to engage with a lot of volunteers right now and keep them engaged with communicating with the rest of our church. So you can invite your external volunteers to be a part of your team. Now, here's a really important element. Teams as an application is designed around the idea that a staff member is responsible for the team. A staff member owns the team. So you can add other members and you can even add other owners, but you can't add an external guest as an owner, just so you know. So only owners can add people and external guests cannot be owners. Just want to throw that out there for you. So let's say that I knew that
quick question there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, quick question. So someone asked that they've had issues. Do they have to have a subscription to be a guest?
They do not. That's a great question. So guests do not need any kind of license or subscription or anything outside of a free account from Microsoft. So just like Google will give anybody in the world a free account with a Gmail address, Microsoft will more than happily give anybody in the world a free account with whatever email address they want to just log in and participate in your team. So if you go and invite a guest, let's do this. I don't want any of my volunteers to be a part of our internal staff conversations in Anywhere Kids. So I'm going to create another team specifically for engaging with my volunteers. So I'm going to call it Anywhere, Kids. Let's go with public. Maybe there's a better word, maybe there's a better name. I'm sure you guys can come up with something better than that. But we're going to have Anywhere Kids that's for our staff people. And then we're going to have Anywhere Kids where we can collaborate with those volunteers. So I can invite Melody as a member again, because remember, she's on my team. But I can also invite guests with their personal email address. So here's Elliot as a guest. He has a personal email address, and I'm going to invite him. Now, what happens when I invite Elliot as a guest? He gets an email. And that email is going to say, hey, Travis has invited you, or I'm sorry, Bob the Tomato. Bob Tomato has invited you to join his team. And here, click this link and join his team. And if Elliot doesn't have a free Microsoft account yet, then that link is going to say, hey, Elliot, here, you need to create this free Microsoft account, and then you can log into this team. And that's all there is to it. So now we've got this place where we can collaborate and communicate, and you'll notice that Teams tells me right up here in the top right that I have a guest participating. That's my reminder to be careful what I say and to be careful what files I put inside of this team. Best practice from Enable, your files that your team internally, your staff are using, they should stay inside of your staff team, right? Only put the things that volunteers and external people really should be able to see in any team that has a guest in it. So there's a quick tip for you.
That's great. But if you're doing a private chat with someone, that's only between you and that one person. That's not on a channel.
That is correct. A private chat is only amongst the people that are in that chat. It is not visible to other people. That's a great point, Ellie. So what you've seen us encourage here is go encourage your staff to create their own teams, right? Maybe you help them create, maybe you create, right? As an administrator, you might create the all staff team, and you might help them create a per ministry or per department team. Absolutely. But then encourage your staff to go create whatever teams they need. They may need cross-departmental teams because they're working together on things, events, projects, whatever. Feel free. Anybody can create whatever team they want to, right? And then they can add files and they can add members and they can control all of that. A great friend of mine in the church IT world, Jason Powell, told me the other day, he encourages his staff that they are trying to create freedom for their staff inside of a framework. So if you think of teams as the framework, around, hey, we want all of our communication and all of our files and all of our collaboration to be in this framework of teams, but we're not going to tell you how to do it directly. We're not going to mandate that you can only have certain groups or certain teams or certain things, right? So I love that comment. I love that statement. It's freedom within a framework. So we're trying to empower you with tools and techniques and things, but let you do what you need to do the ministry that you need to do. We kind of addressed this already, but let me just address it head on. Could a staff member set up a team and then invite a volunteer into the team as a guest? And then would that volunteer be able to invite other people to the team? The answer is no. So again, only team owners can invite people or add people to the team, and you can't be a team owner if you're a guest. So adding people to a team is something that would be restricted to staff, particularly people who have been marked as an owner inside of a team. And by the way, let me just show that real quick. Let's say that I wanted Melody to join me in managing this team. I can go to Manage Team, and I've got the ability to come down here to Melody, and I can change her into an owner. So I can give her more permission and the ability to help me manage this team by making her an owner. I have that ability because she is a staff member. I would not have that ability if she were a guest. All right, so then the last thing I want to touch on is meetings. So the other really great thing about Teams is the ability to schedule meetings that can include internal staff and external guests. So right now today, you all are joining us in a Microsoft Teams live event. It's a little bit different than a meeting because you guys are all on mute. I get to talk, you get to hear us, but we don't get to hear you. Well, that's not a collaborative meeting. It's a live event. It's a webinar, right? It's designed that way. But inside of Teams, it's really, really easy to create both live events and meetings that are collaborative. If you just head to your calendar inside of Teams, you come right over here and you say, well, I want to make a new meeting. Cool. Fill out the information about when and where and how, and feel free to invite the people that you want to invite, right? And when you send that meeting invite, now the staff members that you've invited, as well as your guests, your external participants that you've invited, can all join into that meeting. It's really amazing and it's really awesome. And yes, that meeting can include video, it can include audio, it has a chat component, there's a whiteboard, there's all sorts of cool tools that you can use in that meeting. Again, remember, meetings can only be created by a staff member. So somebody that's an internal staff person that is either an owner or a member of that team has the ability to create meetings. Your guests, your volunteers, they can't create meetings. Sorry. This is not the tool for that. So you'll also notice I have this option. Oh yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
Can it sync up to your Outlook?
It absolutely
synced
does.
up to that?
So you'll notice that my calendar here, Bob the Tomato's calendar, is empty. Well, that's because Bob is a demo person and he doesn't have a real calendar. If you were to look at my Teams calendar, you would see all of my Outlook calendar events right inside of here. It's all synchronized.
Great.
It's all the same information.
Great.
And then I also have the ability to just meet right now, right? If we just want to meet now, we don't want to schedule something. Hey, just click the button, fill out the thing, invite the people. Everybody can join in and start talking and communicating right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
a quick question on meetings that we did get that I can ask while we're on the subject.
Absolutely.
It says, if someone is joining a meeting from a computer without a camera, but with a microphone, will they be able to participate in the video conferencing function with audio only?
Great question. So the question in a nutshell is, hey, do people have to be on video or do they have to have cameras? No, they don't. They do not. So if somebody joins from a computer that doesn't have a webcam, totally fine. They will be able to see the other people that are presenting video. And of course, they can participate via audio, via their microphone. But obviously, you can't see the person that doesn't have the webcam, right? And another important point is Teams works on mobile devices as well. So maybe you have team members that have computers that don't have webcams, but you'd really like them to participate, whoo, that was hard to say, with video. Well, have them use their cell phone or their tablet device, right? Most of those have webcams built into them, and the Teams mobile app is a great experience as well.
Awesome, Travis. That's great information. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us. We do want to do a deeper dive into two more topics that we get questions about a lot. So the first one is about Teams as a phone system. So Travis, do you mind going into a little bit more about Teams as a phone system, maybe the main features and what we need to know about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked a little bit already about how Teams can be used to call or to video chat with other people using Teams, but also you can attach real phone numbers to Teams and assign them to individual users inside of the Teams platform. And the great thing about that is that means that you can use Teams to place calls out to other people around the world or to receive calls from other people. And so now you can have your work phone number actually attached to this work communication system, and you don't have to provide your cell phone number to anybody or use your cell phone number when you call people. Because remember, Teams has a great mobile app as well. So now if you have attached a phone number to you inside of Teams, well, you can use that from your computer and you can use that from your mobile device, whether that's owned by your church or it's owned by you personally. You can still use that mobile app experience and actually place and receive phone calls. You literally get a dial pad, so you can dial the phone, again, from your computer or from your mobile device, and that call goes through the Teams system out to whoever you're calling. And the same, if they call you, they can call and reach you. Your phone would ring either on the mobile app or from your computer or both, if that's what you prefer. And you also get voicemail. And the great thing about the voicemail is when someone does leave you a voicemail, you actually get that voicemail as an attachment in your email inbox, and it is transcribed. So Microsoft actually attempts to type out the words of whatever somebody left inside of your voicemail message. So it makes it really fast to triage any voicemail messages you get, because you can kind of see who it was from and kind of see what the words are without having to listen to the whole thing. So we actually have a great blog post that goes over the details of how this is set up and what the costs are in order to enable that, because it is an extra licensed feature. Here's a QR code actually that will take you straight to this excellent online blog post resource.
Awesome. That's great. I think that gives people a good amount of information on that topics, but if you have any other questions, check out that blog post that Travis mentioned, and always email us if you have questions about that. So we have another common topic that we want to talk about with you guys, or get Travis to touch on today, and it's around file storage and file sharing. So one question we hear from people is that they prefer to use the File Explorer or Finder to access their files. So Travis, is there a way to integrate that with Teams?
There absolutely is. So we did talk a little bit about file storage inside of Teams, and we really do advocate strongly that churches really look at how to move files from their local on-site servers into Teams as their primary collaboration storage system. You get all the great benefits of being able to work together, share files, co-author files, all of that functionality for any files that you're storing inside of Teams. It's really phenomenal, and it's just great. So we really are advocating strongly for quit using other tools. Everybody get inside of using OneDrive or Teams for file storage. But we do often have people say, well, that's great, and we love the idea that we can get to our files everywhere, but it's kind of inconvenient to have to go into the Teams application and open my file there and then open it in Word or whatever. And so there is a functionality inside of Teams. When you go to the Files tab, there's a sync button right at the top of any file screen that you're on, any folder that you're in inside of Teams. And when you click that sync button, it will actually launch the OneDrive app on your local computer. Whether you're on Windows or on Mac OS, the app is called OneDrive, and I know that's a little confusing, but the OneDrive app that runs on your computer will synchronize either files in your OneDrive or files in your Teams folders and files tabs. And so by clicking that sync button and setting up that synchronization, what happens is you'll actually see that folder show up in File Explorer, or if you're on a Mac, you'll see it show up in Finder. And now you literally can just browse your files right from your file system on your computer and never really think about the fact that it's really being stored inside of Teams. The only important part is you got to make sure that OneDrive app keeps running, because it's the magic sauce. It's the thing that connects the cloud to your local computer to keep everything synchronized. And it's fully two-way synchronized, meaning if you change something on your computer, it'll push that change to the cloud. If you or someone else on your team changes a file in the cloud and you have enabled sync, then it's going to sync it right back down to your computer. And it all happens anytime you're on the internet. Anytime you have an internet connection, it'll stay synced for you.
That's awesome. Great. Well, we covered a lot today. And Travis, thank you so much for everything that you went over, and I learned a lot today as well. So I just appreciate everything that we covered today. So we are just so thankful that you joined us. If you do have any other questions, feel free to email us at info@enable.email. We would love to answer any questions you have. And I know we threw a lot of resources at y'all today, but we have another one for you. So we have a Microsoft Teams Quick Start Guide where we have kind of explained what we've talked about today and gone over some important things that you need to know to get started on Teams. And so there is that QR code that will lead you straight to that blog post. And again, just another great resource for you and your team. And once again, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.